today's lesson is over the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is what we're looking at right here. Okay, we've all seen it before. We use it, we plot points on it. We can draw a line, we can draw different things on the coordinate plane. This is called the coordinate plane. Okay, so it says the points are located in reference to two perpendicular lines called axes, or axes, plural. Okay, the horizontal one here is the x-axis. The vertical one is the y-axis. Okay, and that's all we'll see. We'll see an x-axis and a y-axis. It says points in the coordinate plane are named by the ordered pairs in the form x, y. We always have x, y. Okay, x always comes first and they have parentheses around them. Ordered pairs always have a parenthesis around them. The first number, or the x coordinate, call it a coordinate, corresponds to the numbers on the x-axis. The second number, or the y-coordinate, corresponds to the numbers on the y-axis. Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. X-coordinate, x-axis, y-coordinate, y-axis. And the origin, labeled O, you'll sometimes see O in the middle there, has coordinates 0, 0. So right here, what's in the middle of those two axes is called the origin. And it has point 0, 0. Okay, we always have the x first and then the y. Okay, so the x of the origin is 0, the y of the origin is 0. Alright, so now we're going to label these points that are on this coordinate plane here. So when we do that, we're going to look at point A first. We're going to use our x first. We're going to find our x first. So we go over on the x-axis, it's over 4, and down -8. So point A is 4, 8. Point B, we have to be careful because we're going up by 2's. 2, 4, 6, it's not quite 8, so it's 7, it's over 7, and down -7. Point C, we do our x first, so we go over -2, and then it doesn't rise or go down, so therefore it is just 0. So point C is -2, 0. Point D, again, we're going over by 2's, so we're over -9, and it goes down also -9. And our last point, point E, we do our x first, we go over 8 and up 1. So these are the points for A, B, C, D, and E. The coordinate plane can be broken into 4 quadrants. Quad means 4. Okay, so we're going to label our 4 quadrants. Each quadrant has something special about it. So if you remember from previous years, we know that we start here at quadrant 1. And then we work backwards. This one's quadrant 2. This one's quadrant 3. And this one's quadrant 4. Again, each quadrant has something special. So when we're looking at quadrant 1, we know that any point in this quadrant is going to have a positive x and a positive y. So my x is positive, my y is positive. When I'm in quadrant 2, I know that any point in this area, my x is going to be negative and my y is going to be positive. In quadrant 3, we know that my x is going to be negative and my y will also be negative. And lastly, in quadrant 4, we know my x is positive and my y is negative. And that's it for today's lesson. So now what you're going to do is fill out a sheet over the coordinate plane. You're going to label points on a grid, and you're going to tell me the points, and then you're going to do an activity.